got some patch notes, ladies and gentlemen. Version 1.5 for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has finally been released for everybody, including the patch notes, and I just thought it would be a great idea to go over them on this channel with you guys. And pretty much in the patch notes, we'll be talking about probably strictly the multiplayer features. And you guys know I don't really play too many zombies, too much of all the other stuff, so I'm going to be mostly going over the weapons, the perks, and also the specialists that have been balanced, whether they were nerfed or buffed. But before we get into the patch notes, I just want to remind everybody, if you do enjoy this style of video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's plenty more videos of me covering patch notes, also doing gun guides, reviews, everything. All those types of things you will find on this channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay notified for all my recent videos as well. Alright, so the first thing that we see while we're going over these patch notes is that the submachine guns got buffed, and Lord, I can't even express how happy I am to see that they finally buffed the submachine guns, because all the submachine guns are trash besides the Spitfire and the SOG, so it's not really much variety to the game. Pretty much you just see a bunch of people running around with Spitfires and SOGs, so it's great to see that they buffed it up. So the MX-9 was adjusted from 5 hit kill range up to 6 meters, multiplayer only, and slightly increased ADS move speeds. The GKS adjusted 5 hit kill range up to 3 meters, multiplayer only, also slightly increasing the ADS move speed. Cordite adjusted 5 hit kill range up to 3 meters as well, multiplayer only, and slightly increased the ADS move speed as well. Looks like they're pretty much doing that for all the submachine guns right now. And this one caught me off guard too, but the Spitfire, they increased the Spitfire's 6 hit kill range by 3 meters as well, multiplayer only, and slightly increasing the ADS movement speed as well. I wasn't really expecting them to touch the Spitfire that much because it's already a god tier gun as it is, but it seems like they wanted to buff that up a little bit more. See, I'm not complaining. I love the Spitfire, so if they're making it better for me, shoot, by all means, I do not mind. Come on in. Next up, there are the assault rifles, and with the Maddox, they slightly increased the recoil of the first and second shot. Now, I don't think this is going to really affect the gun too much because the Maddox is already a beast as it is, and they're only increasing the recoil of the first and second shot, so it will be a little bit more of a kick when you first shoot the weapon, but afterwards it should mellow down and go to pretty much a straight fire as it usually is with the Maddox. Then also the Echofire Operator mod removes the recoil penalty when equipped, so that's great to know as well. Then KN57 has reduced idle sway, which is perfect for me because honestly, the KN at first when I first tried it out was not that great of a weapon, but the more I used it, the more I enjoyed it. I'm glad to see that they're buffing it up a little bit to allow it to have just a better play style for the weapon, so I can pretty much use it a little bit more than what I use right now. And also, they slightly increased the 4 hit kill range by 1.5 meters for the KN. That's outstanding. I'm glad to see that they're buffing up the KN a little bit more to make it more usable over the ICR and the Maddox. Then, of course, we have the Rampart 17, which is also an outstanding weapon. Very underrated for a lot of people. But they reduced the idle sway for that gun as well. Slightly reduced recoil of the first and third shots, which is great to know that they're reducing the recoil of the overall weapon because it's a very slow shooting weapon with 0 rapid fire attachments that you could put on it. So it helps when it has less recoil because it can actually land those shots compared to someone who's using an ICR which already has no recoil with a higher damage rate on it. So I'm glad to see that the Rampart is getting a little bit more of a buff as well. Then of course they're increasing the 4 hit kill range by 3 meters. That's a lot more than the KN obviously, so that is going to be outstanding to see and finally try out as well. Next up is the tactical rifles and light machine guns. The first tactical rifle is the Swordfish that they decided to buff up, and they slightly reduced the delay between bursts, reduced the idle sway, and Pentaburst Operator mod now implements standard burst delay. So these are some pretty unique changes. I don't really use the Swordfish that much, so I can't really say if it's going to improve the gameplay or make it worse, but it's good to know. Then for the Titan, which has the reduced ADS speed, increased sprint out time, slightly increased hipfire spread, and also the stock slightly reduces movement benefits when equipped. Interesting little features that they added towards the Titan. The Titan honestly is just my go-to weapon when I just want to hold down a lane. So moving and increased sprint out time and reduced ADS speeds and blah 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 blah. None of that stuff really affects me. Honestly, all I use the gun for is just ADSing one line and just spraying anybody who comes throughout that spot. It's good for holding down objectives, holding down flags. I would not use this for anything else besides that. Use the Hades if you wanted to run and gun, but that's fine for the time, I guess. Whatever, do your thing. Oh, now this one's a fun one now. It's going to be a lot of mixed emotions about this topic that we're about to speak about, and that is the sniper rifles. The Outlaw has gotten a slight increase to the fire rate, greatly reduced idle sway, slightly increased ADS speed, updated ADS rechamber animation to make it easier to stay on target, recoil now centers more reliably, and increased base damage increased by 10, only affecting shots to kill an already damaged target. Jesus Christ, I mean, I didn't know the Outlaw was that bad. Honestly, I don't snipe at all, but if a sniper was that bad that it needed that many fixes, that is insane. I feel bad that that gun had to go through that much to make it at least half decent now. Then the SDM got added aim assist while hip firing, and the Kashka recoil now centers more reliably after the first shot. Whatever, those two aren't as insane as the Outlaw. That's pretty insane how much they had to add to that gun right there. I know a lot of people are going to complain, saying, why do you have to buff the snipers, why do you have to buff the snipers, but honestly, you know, at the end of the day, if it was that bad, it was that bad. I think the ultimate sniper that I see the most of is the Kashka and also the Paladin. I don't really see the Outlaw too much, so honestly, it probably did need a buff, so people would actually touch that one instead of the other two most overpowered guns in the game. Oh man, and I am really excited about this one. For the SG-12, they reduced visual effect of strobe light operator mod and reduced the range at which strobe light affects aim assist by 50%. That is outstanding. I love that they did that. That operator mod has driven me crazy. Absolutely off the walls, and I can't even stand it anymore. So I'm really happy that they are dropping the strobe light effect just a little bit so we can actually engage with someone who's using that, since you can pretty much never even see the person behind the flashlight when they are up close and personal. It's impossible. I can't even get the outline of their body, not even their toes. They are completely covered by a flashlight. So I'm very glad that they decided to nerf the flash. Alright, and now it is time to move on to the specialist, and this is going to be a bit of a chunky one, so hold on, hang in there, strap in tight, and we're going to push right on through this one. But this is probably the most important thing of this whole video, which probably everybody wants to know about, and that is Ajax. Ajax reduced 9bang's flash effect duration by 25%. 9bang is now countered more effectively by tactical mask. Increased bullet spread by 25% and fortify stance when using the ballistic shield. Ajax's turn speed is now properly slowed down when he's hit by concussion grenade with the ballistic shield equipped. Resolved an issue that could prevent Ajax from being hit from certain angles from behind with the ballistic shield equipped, and also added a third-person sound effect for charge 2 and 3 of the 9bang. Now, I'm going to cut it off right there for a second. I just want to talk about this one specifically. That is insane, and I hope it's actually going to fix Ajax. I might later down the road go into a free-for-all match and specifically try out Ajax and make a video about Ajax because I think that would be a good topic. But Ajax is probably one of the most OP operators in the game right now, and for me he's really fun to use because he has a 9bang which you hold for 3 times. It will literally permanently stun them for like at least more than 10-15 seconds at least. I can't even imagine if it was less because it feels that long when you're finally stunned. And then an overpowered shield which pretty much nobody can shoot around, and you get a little pistol that you can shove into the crack of the shield and spray everybody down in front of you. First off, this is great. So hopefully the stun will not last that long. You can probably run away quicker. Maybe they allowed you to crouch more or just make it easier to protect yourself, because when you get flashed by Ajax's 9bang, you feel vulnerable. You can't really do much besides just sit there. I remember when the game first came out and I 9bang people, they wouldn't even move. They would just accept their fate. They would stand in the exact location, would not move, and just accept their death. And it was hilarious to me, but it's understandable because you literally can't do anything. when you get 9-banged, you kind of just want to put your hands up and surrender. So I'm glad that they did that. And also, they made the tactical masks actually usable in this game, which is also a great feature as well. I mean, it's a tac mask. They should be usable, and it should prevent a 9-bang. I don't know why they didn't in the first place. And then the last thing, even though the turn speed is, I guess, a little important, and being able to shoot around his shield a little bit better with the angles is important, but I think this is probably the most important thing of them all, is the increased bullet spread by 25% and fortify stance. That is insane because you can pretty much laser anybody right now while you're standing behind this fortified shield. Now, it's not completely bulletproof. If you have a rocket launcher, you can kill someone. If you're using battery, you can stick them or use her war machine. You can get stunned by Prophet. You can pretty much die from 1,000,001 things. But the fact is if nobody's using that and everybody's just running around with regular primaries, nobody has their specialist ability, then you're kind of stuck and you can't do much. And Ajax can pretty much just, like I said, shove the pistol up in the shield and spray everybody down in front of him. So it makes for a very annoying process. So I'm very glad that they increased the spread, making it harder for him to shoot people so easily, which means that Ajax is going to pretty much have to be up close and personal, allowing people to be able to run away from engagements a lot easier from him. So you can actually get away without trying to run and then get shot in the back, because he can pretty much gun you down from halfway across the map behind the shield. It's going to make things a lot better for Ajax. But for the rest of the specialists, it looks like Prophet caught a buff for his Tempest gun, which I don't really understand because that gun is absolutely absurd. So I don't really understand why they increased the accuracy on the Tempest weapon. But hey, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I love using Prophet, so I'm not really that mad about it. I'm going to be loving this little buff here. Probably not too many other people, but whatever. Then for Firebreak, the Purifier will now properly damage the strike team, which I didn't even know it didn't damage the strike team, so I'm glad that it does now. That seems a little strange. I wish they would fix it where it would actually register when you're burning someone, as you guys might have seen in my other video, which was the free-for-all live comm video where I was spraying someone down with a flamethrower and for some reason it wasn't connecting the hits. Maybe they should work on that instead of the strike team, but hey, whatever floats their boat. And then for Ruin, resolved an issue that could lead to the grapple gun failing to connect to surfaces when the player was moving. I actually have ran into that problem just a few times in this game, not too many times, but it is kind of irritating, and it is not very helpful when you're planning out a move and it completely backfires on you when you decide not to grapple when you wanted to grapple. But hey, I'm glad it's resolved. We can now use Ruin effectively and efficiently, so that's all a plus for everybody. That's honestly pretty it for the majority of the major patch notes. The rest are just pretty much the perks and other tiny things that they did with the spawns. They're saying they've tried to adjust the spawns for Arsenal Summit and Payload for specific game modes. I don't think that they're going to be fixed. I think it's still going to be just as spawn trappy as it was before. Nothing is going to change. Nothing's going to be different. I'm going to test that out for myself because I think that's a little too far. But then I think the two major perks, they also did Flak Jacket and Cold Blooded, but they only just minorly buffed and changed a few different things on them. But the major things were for Tactical Mask. They increased the resistance to the 9-bang, which I already told you guys, concussing grenades, and also Razor Wire. Get that. Attack Mask will help you against Razor Wire. Who would have ever known? Oh my goodness, that's insane. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. And then Dead Silence will now suppress players' sound related to healing, taking fall damage, or surfacing while swimming. Which I don't know why they didn't already do that in the first place. That's what Dead Silence is, isn't it? I mean, Dead Silence is all about being quiet and stealthy and just that's what you do, right? So why is it when I heal myself it's loud, when I take fall damage, well, not fall damage, but you know, quote unquote fall damage, it's loud, and when I swim around it's loud as hell too? The whole point of Dead Silence is to be quiet. That's why I put the perk on, so I'm really happy to see these changes for that. That is great. But that pretty much sums up these patch notes, guys, for pretty much the important things that I thought should be said on this channel specifically. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like. If you hated it, dislike. And subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content just like this. I always am creating different series, different ideas, and fun things that we can always talk about on this channel. But as always, thank you for tuning in. Follow me on Twitter if you want to chat with me. Catch me on Twitch if you want to watch me stream. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.